What are the pros and cons of living in Oakville, Ontario? That is the most common question I get asked by people thinking of making a move to the area. So on today's video, we're going to take a look at the good and we're going to actually take a look at the bad as well. And you're going to want to stick around until the end because some of the bad can actually cost you money. If we haven't met yet, my name is Mike. I am a local realtor here in the GTA, and on this channel, you'll find real estate information that no one else is sharing with you. Okay, let's dig into it. So where exactly is Oakville to start? Well, it's in the West GTA, located between Burlington and Mississauga. It's a part of Halton region that also includes Milton and Burlington. Overall, it's about a 45-minute drive to downtown Toronto, and you're about 20 to 30 minutes away from most major spots in Mississauga. You can get to Pearson Airport in about 30 minutes, and Hamilton is generally about 40 minutes away. Of course, this all depends on traffic. If you are going to be driving during the busier times of the day, you can easily add on another 15 to 20-minute drive to all of those commute times. Oakville has a variety of housing, but what really sets it apart and one of the biggest pros of living there is the neighborhood design and planning. When you are in Oakville and you just can't really tell until you're there, is that most neighborhoods just feel and look visually appealing. They have this clean, manicured, sort of well-organized look to them that you don't find in other GTA cities. You've got the charming older homes near the lake in South Oakville, the custom builds on wider lots, and the luxury estates of areas like Old Oakville, Morrison, and Ford. On the opposite spectrum, if you go to North Oakville, you have these really well master planned communities, newer detached homes, newer townhomes, and condo apartments in an urban uptown core. And then you have slightly older master planned communities like Westmount, West Oak Trails, River Oaks, and these just weren't plunked down. They were well designed with families in mind. Schools, parks, trails, and major retail are all close by. Streets are wide, traffic flows pretty well, and the layout avoids that sort of chaotic, tacked-on suburban sprawl that you see in other cities. You also have lots of different architectural diversity when it comes to homes, all the way from luxury estates to condos. Once you're actually living in Oakville, you'll see exactly what I mean. It just feels a little bit different, a little bit more upscale, and not necessarily always the pretentious way, just in a way that's sort of clean, manicured, organized, and just sort of makes sense. And Oakville has some of the best ranked schools in the entire province. That's a big reason why so many families move here. Between both the public and Catholic boards, you have great options across both the elementary and secondary levels. I would venture to say that there's no such thing as a bad school in Oakville, so you can feel comfortable sending your child to pretty much any school within the city. There are French immersion, gifted, and IB programs available at different schools depending upon the board. If you want more information on that, you can contact me directly. And if you want the latest rankings and reports, you can visit the link to my website in the description below. And for those that want to stay within Oakville, there is a post-secondary option as well. You have Sheridan College, which is located in College Park, right at the center of the city. Sheridan College is world-renowned for animation, but also offers strong programs in early childhood education, social work, and design. A lot of parents love that their kids can stay local for college. Just a really quick break here. If you're finding value in this video, please just hit the like button below. It will help people find content just like this. Okay, let's get right back to it. Now, this next pro comes up all the time with my clients. They ask, how safe is Oakville exactly? And the answer is, it's one of the safest cities, not only in Ontario, but all of Canada as well. Oakville is part of Halton region, which has consistently ranked as one of the safest municipalities in all of Canada. And it's not just in the stats, but in the community as well. You definitely do feel it. The parks are full of kids and families. Kids are taking their bikes to school. People are walking their dogs after dark. You definitely get a sense of safety here that you may not get in other municipalities around the GTA. Now, you can dig into Halton's crime stats reports to get them for yourself, but when I talk to people, you definitely get a sense of safety and community when you live here in Oakville. And if you're moving here from a larger city, the difference in the day-to-day peace of mind is definitely noticeable. And another big pro and something you'll notice right away is just how much green space there is in Oakville and how much people actually use it. There are over 1,700 hectares of parkland across the town, tons of space for biking, hiking, or just walking the dog. And the parks here aren't just pretty, they're well maintained, clean, and thoughtfully designed. Coronation Park is one of the biggest, right on the lake. You have Bronte Heritage Waterfront Park, Tannery Park, and Gairloch Gardens to give you some of the best views of Lake Ontario. The lakefront trails, marinas, and parks give the town sort of an open feel that's sort of hard to fake. You've also got spots like Lions Valley Park, which follows the 16-mile Creek Ravine. This is great for trails, hikes, and letting the kids run around in a more natural setting. Even newer spots like the South Shell Waterfront Park were built with that modern coastal feel. Wide walkways, beaches, and water access. And the city is nowhere near done. They have a long-term parks plan that will run until 2031. That includes more sports fields, updated splash pads, new skating rinks for the winter, and expanded trail systems. So whether you're into lakefront pass, forest walks, or just want the kids to burn off energy, Oakville checks off all the boxes. And that leads to our next pro. Oakville is set up incredibly well for families, but not just parks and trails. They have some of the best recreation infrastructure in the entire GTA. There are 6 full community centers spread across the city, so no matter where you live, you're never very far from a center that's going to have pools and rinks and gyms and tons of organized classes. There are over 20 pools across the city, including both indoor and outdoor options with splash pads for the little ones. And in the winter, you've got over 15 outdoor rinks, plus multiple indoor arenas for skating, hockey, and figure skating. The town offers year-round programs for every age group. Swimming lessons, drop-in sports, camps, arts and crafts, adult fitness, seniors wellness, and so much more. So whether you've got toddlers or teens, or you're looking for yourself or for seniors, Oakville has a little bit of something for everyone. So those were all the great things about Oakville, but I did promise some bad, and we have to look at both sides here. And the first, I think, and probably the most important, is that Oakville is a very expensive place to live. The home prices here are very high compared to most cities in the GTA. There is definitely a premium to live in Oakville. But when you factor in all of the pros I just talked about, if you have the budget, it's definitely worth it. But let's take a quick look at the median home prices in Oakville so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. The median price of a detached home in Oakville is about $1.675 million. A semi-detached is about $1.1 million. A townhome slightly more at $1.15 million. A condo townhouse will run you about $725,000, and a condo apartment on average is about $575,000. Now, keep in mind that home prices do fluctuate, so if you want to get the most updated pricing, you can do one of 2 things. You can either follow the link in the video description below to my website, where I map out every single neighborhood for you, every single home type, and you can see all the homes for sale in Oakville, or you can contact me directly for the most updated pricing. And one last thing to note here is that while freehold homes are a little bit more expensive in Oakville than other cities, they do tend to hold their value pretty well. And for first-time buyers or people looking to just get into the Oakville market, the condo townhomes and condo apartments are actually not more expensive than other cities around the GTA. The next con we'll look at is, I think, just a temporary con. But right now, there are people moving into the newer master plan community in North Oakville. This is north of Dundas Street, and reality is not exactly meeting their expectations. See, when people think of Oakville, they think a lot of Central or South Oakville. They're thinking of tree-lined streets, just the charm and character of the neighborhoods, these wide streets and beautiful homes, and it's just not quite fitting in with the more urban design of North Oakville. Here you have newer homes built on smaller lots. They're definitely going to feel a little bit more packed together than the older areas of Oakville, and there is just going to be a lot more busyness because this area is built for density. And right now, many of the homeowners there are suffering through the growing pains of construction, and this happens in new developments. Parks, schools, and amenities, they're all still catching up. Personally, I think the future of North Oakville is very bright, but if you're buying into this area, just keep in mind that it's not a finished product just yet. Another con of living in Oakville is that some areas don't exactly have easy access to major retail. There are definitely some pockets, especially in the uptown core, where you do have a lot of options, but especially in South Oakville, your options are a little bit more limited. Oakville Place is the only major mall, otherwise it's smaller or more local retail. For big shopping trips, you're going to be headed either to Mississauga to go to Square One, or you'll head to Toronto to head to the Eden Center. And on that same sort of topic, when we look at major retail, we also tend to look at Nightlife and entertainment, and that's definitely another place where Oakville struggles. There's not really much of a nightlife to speak of, even when you look at downtown Oakville by the lake. There's not much of a bar scene, definitely no club scene, and there's really no live entertainment. For concerts or pro sports or major shows and events, most people are going to have to head to a bigger city like Hamilton or Toronto. With that said, there are a few lower key options, especially around the Mississauga-Oakville border, for people to hang out with friends and family. Another con of living in Oakville is the public transit limitations. Now, this is not just an Oakville problem, this is a problem for most of the GTA. So Oakville does have two GO stations at Bronte and the Oakville GO station, which is around sort of the intersection of what we call Midtown and South Oakville, closer to the east side of Oakville. These are both good options, and most people can get to these stations from pretty much anywhere in Oakville within about 15 to 20 minutes. But public transportation within Oakville itself, especially its bus system, is a little bit more limited and a little bit more difficult. It's pretty infrequent. It usually runs at best every 30 minutes or so. And if you don't live near the GO station itself, getting there through public transportation means is definitely a little bit more time consuming. So like most cities, this is a car dependent city, and getting around is going to be a little bit harder. Now, on the flip side, there is good cycling infrastructure here in Oakville. So if you're into cycling and you want to take that around the city, you actually have a pretty good system here. And at the beginning of the video, I said that some of these cons might actually cost you. This is sort of a big one. If you're someone that's going to be commuting into Toronto, for example, especially by car, and you're looking at where to live in Oakville, this is an expensive city, so you don't want to get that purchase wrong. If you really need to get to a certain place in 40 or 45 minutes, the reality is that there's traffic every day, and that drive's going to be more like an hour or an hour and 10 minutes. And that huge difference can be made by living on either the west end of Oakville or the east end of Oakville. So if you need to be somewhere in a certain time frame, you need to get back for the kids, or just in general, you don't want to spend an hour and 10 minutes on the road, then you're going to probably want to be on the east part of town. So before you make a decision on where to buy in Oakville and spend all that money, make sure you understand exactly how long that commute takes. So that's the real deal on Oakville, the pros, the cons, and everything in between. For a lot of people, the parks, the schools, the safety, the family-friendly amenities is exactly what they're after. But for a lot of people, if you're looking for an affordable city with great public transportation, shopping, nightlife, all of that, it's probably not going to check every single box. If you're seriously thinking about making the move to Oakville and you want to learn even more about it, then you're going to want to watch this video next. It has so much detail on the city of Oakville, it'll be the only video you need. And if you're ready to look at Oakville real estate, then you're going to want to check out the link in the description below for my set of preferred homes.